The radical power of softness. How Black women are redefining success and leadership. Welcome to the soft girl era, beautiful souls. I'm deeply honored to stand before you today to share transformative insights that have the power to shift not just how we work, but how we live and thrive in this world. Recently, I had the extraordinary privilege of sitting down with Shay Black, a revolutionary force who has been completely transforming how Black women approach entrepreneurship, leadership, and self care. Shay isn't just a thought leader, she's a healer for our community, a wisdom keeper who has guided thousands of Black women professionals away from burnout and toward authentic prosperity. Her work has created ripples across industries, challenging centuries old narratives about what power looks like, especially for Black women. Our conversation was nothing short of electric. With her signature Southern Creole warmth and unapologetic brilliance, Shay opened my eyes to a counterintuitive truth that's been hiding in plain sight. Our softness isn't our weakness, it's our superpower. What I'm about to share with you today challenges everything we've been taught about success, especially for Black women. We've been told that to succeed, we must be twice as strong, twice as resilient, twice as hardworking. But what if the path to true power isn't about hardening ourselves against the world? What if it's about embracing our vulnerability, our softness, our full humanity? Let me start with something that might surprise you. Despite Black women being the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the United States, we continue to face some of the most persistent and systemic barriers, especially when it comes to accessing capital and employment stability. This means that our success stories often emerge not because the system is supportive, but in spite of ongoing inequities. Think about that for a moment. The narrative isn't just about resilience, it's about thriving while navigating a landscape that remains fundamentally uneven. And that's exactly what Shay Black helped me understand, that the conventional wisdom about grinding and hustling isn't serving us, it's depleting us. Here's the first radical idea Shay shared: softness as power. For generations, Black women have been conditioned to believe that vulnerability equals weakness, that showing emotion means you're not fit for leadership, that taking time for self care means you're not committed enough. But Shay flips this script entirely. She argues that embracing vulnerability and softness isn't weakness, it's a radical act of leadership. For Black women professionals and entrepreneurs, reclaiming softness can be an antidote to burnout culture and a source of authentic connection with clients, teams, and communities. As Audre Lorde once powerfully stated, caring for myself is not self indulgence, it is self preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. When Shay shared this quote during our conversation, it resonated deeply. Because in a world that expects Black women to carry everyone else's burdens, choosing yourself is indeed revolutionary. But let's be clear about something: the barriers Black women face aren't imaginary, they're structural, they're persistent, and they're real. Consider this: even as entrepreneurship among Black women surges, with revenues for Black African American women owned businesses rising by 32.7% between 2019 and 2023, access to capital remains severely limited. Job losses are disproportionately high among Black women, and support systems like DEI initiatives are being rolled back across industries. Let me bring this to life with a story that illustrates this reality. Despite leading growth in entrepreneurship nationally, Black women face systemic hurdles securing business loans due to bias within traditional financial institutions. This isn't speculation, it's documented fact. I remember Shay telling me about Kimberly, a brilliant designer who had developed an innovative, sustainable fashion line. Her business plan was impeccable. Her early sales were promising, yet she approached 17 different banks, and 17 times she was denied funding. The reasons given were vague: insufficient collateral, concerns about market viability, lack of industry experience, despite her decade in fashion. But here's where the story shifts. Community development financial institutions stepped in with tailored lending programs specifically targeting underrepresented founders. Kimberly secured the funding she needed, and today her company employs 15 people and generates over $2 million in annual revenue. This isn't just one success story. Dozens of new enterprises have launched through these alternative funding pathways. But the question remains, why must Black women create parallel systems just to access what should be equally available to all? The system isn't broken, sis. It's working exactly as designed. And that's why we need new designs. Now, let me share another sobering reality that Shay brought to light. In April 2025 alone, over 106,000 jobs were lost by Black women, the steepest drop among all demographic groups, despite overall job growth nationwide. Let that sink in. While the economy was growing, Black women were being pushed out. Historically stable federal jobs shrank due in part to government cutbacks. Simultaneous rollback of corporate DEI initiatives further eroded advancement opportunities for many mid career professionals. This wasn't a coincidence, it was a pattern. But here's where the story gets interesting. Advocacy organizations responded with emergency career workshops focused on upskilling and reskilling affected workers. Peer led support circles provided emotional resilience tools during transitions. Shay told me about Janelle, a former corporate marketing executive who lost her position during these cuts. Instead of fighting to re enter a system that had repeatedly undervalued her, Janelle joined one of these support circles. There, she found not just emotional support, but strategic guidance. 6 months later, she launched her own marketing consultancy, focusing specifically on helping small Black owned businesses build their brands. Today, she earns more than she did in corporate America, works fewer hours, and describes herself as fully alive for the first time in her career. This brings me to the second key insight from my conversation with Shay Black. Community and collaboration are essential. Building networks of sisterhood through retreats, coaching groups, or professional organizations creates sacred spaces for rest, reflection, support, and ultimately breakthrough growth. No one rises alone. As the African proverb reminds us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Shay emphasized that this wisdom is particularly crucial for Black women navigating hostile or indifferent professional environments. Let me share one more powerful story that illustrates this point beautifully. Between 2019 and 2023, average revenues at Black and African American woman owned firms jumped nearly one third, 32.7%, far outpacing gains seen among white female peers, which grew at just 12%. What drove this remarkable growth? Many founders cited negative workplace experiences as push factors, prompting their leap into self employment, and credited community driven resources with sustaining early momentum. Leveraging online communities and membership organizations provided mentorship networks, plus practical guidance on scaling startups amidst adversity. Shay shared the story of the Melanin Moguls Collective, a group of 15 Black women entrepreneurs who meet monthly to share resources, solve problems, and celebrate wins. When one member, a wellness practitioner, needed to quickly pivot her business model during the pandemic, the collective rallied around her. One member helped her build a digital platform, another offered marketing expertise, a third connected her with investors. Within 3 months, her virtual wellness practice was serving clients across 3 continents. Record high revenue benchmarks were reached across multiple sectors, including wellness services and coaching consultancies led by Black female founders. These successes challenge outdated narratives around who leads innovation and prove collective uplift is possible, even amid entrenched bias. As Shay Black puts it, when we pour into each other, we create an ocean that can't be drained. I want to pause here and acknowledge something important. The journey I'm describing isn't easy. It requires us to unlearn generations of conditioning. It asks us to believe we deserve rest, care, and abundance, not because we've earned it through superhuman effort, but because it's our birthright as human beings. This is where Shay's wisdom really shines. She teaches that softness isn't about being passive or weak. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about recognizing that you can be both powerful and gentle, both ambitious and nurturing, both successful and whole. Your softness, Shay told me, is the space where your creativity, intuition, and deepest wisdom live. When you deny those parts of yourself, you're cutting yourself off from your greatest gifts. She shared a daily affirmation that changed my life. I am worthy of success that doesn't require my suffering. I am building a legacy of abundance, not exhaustion. So, where do we go from here? What practical steps can we take to embrace this radical softness while still navigating systems that weren't built for us? First, we must recognize that community isn't just nice to have, it's essential. Find your people, create spaces where you can be fully yourself, where you can remove the mask and breathe. Whether it's a mastermind group, a professional organization, or just a regular dinner with friends who get it. Prioritize these connections. Second, redefine success on your own terms. Success isn't just about the money in your bank account or the title on your business card. It's about waking up excited about your day. It's about having energy left for the people you love. It's about making an impact without depleting yourself in the process. Third, practice radical self care, not the commercialized version that's all about bubble baths and face masks, though those are lovely too. I'm talking about the kind of self care that says no to opportunities that don't align with your values, the kind that prioritizes your health even when deadlines are looming, the kind that recognizes rest isn't a reward for productivity, it's a prerequisite for it. I stand before you today not just as a speaker, but as someone irrevocably changed by these insights. I challenge you to consider what might be possible if we collectively rejected a narrative that our worth comes from our struggle. What innovations might emerge if we led from our wholeness? What healing might occur if we stopped wearing exhaustion as a badge of honor? This isn't just about individual well being, though that matters profoundly. This is about reimagining leadership itself. because the world doesn't need more burned out visionaries. It needs whole, vibrant, soft yet strong leaders who can create spaces where others can thrive too. So I leave you with this: your softness is not something to overcome, it is something to reclaim. It is the wellspring of your power, your creativity, your impact. When you embrace it fully, you don't just change your own life, you change the world around you. A soft Black woman is indeed a dangerous thing to underestimate. When we reclaim our softness, we reclaim our wholeness. And whole women change the world. Drop the titanium cape, slip into your softness, and watch how you still run the world. Because the soft girl era isn't about being less powerful, it's about being more authentically you. And there is nothing more revolutionary than that.